Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Loman with Keller Williams Atlanta in town.
I'm Brittany Reed with the Closings Pro.
I did that wrong. Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Loman with Keller Williams Realty in town Atlanta.
And I'm Brittany Reed with the Closings Pro. And we work together.
We work
so
together.
That's fun.
So Brittany, tell me when you first got into real estate. How'd you get into that?
So it was 2018. I got my license, and I was an agent at first for probably until COVID, so 2 years. And then COVID happened, the world shut down, and I felt like I needed to pivot. And then I got into transaction coordinating. I was doing it a little bit here and there, and then now I'm full time.
What was your favorite thing about being in real estate?
Oof. I would say the flexibility and the freedom that you have throughout the day. Not every day.
Not every day.
But
not every day.
Some days.
That's the funny thing about being in real estate. Everyone says you must love the flexibility. I'm like, with when and with what time? Like, I don't know anybody who has actual flexibility who's in it full time.
Yeah, no. I feel like you have the flexibility of being able to work from anywhere and being not tied to a desk all day long. Like that flexibility, I think.
I'm at the coffee shop at 11 and I'm like, who else is at this coffee shop? And it's literally other real estate agents that I know. I'm like, I'm listening to them talk about like putting in a offer on a house.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of real estate agents call you because we're running around all day long.
Yeah.
I'm in the car. I'm calling you. Like, I'm like an hour away from an appointment. I'm like, Brittany, I really need your help.
Yeah.
And I think that's the miracle of having a transaction coordinator.
Correct.
And why it's been so useful for my business. And I'm sure you've seen the people you work with, their business has grown because they have more time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the point of hiring a transaction coordinator is not only to, manage the process once you go under contract, keep up with dates, documents, whatever, but that gives you your time back. And essentially it's 16 hours per transaction. So that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
You can go under contract, move on to the next, and just keep doing that. Or you can go under contract and go on vacation.
I would love to go on vacation.
Me too.
Where should we go?
Let's plan it right now.
What would you say to, let's say I have a client and you're introducing yourself to them. How would you explain your role to them, to someone who's not in the biz?
So our initial email is extremely detailed. I basically introduce myself as your transaction coordinator, who you are, your brokerage. Then I kind of let them know I'm going to be working behind the scenes with you. I list out a couple things that I will be handling. Keeping track of deadlines, talking with the attorney, scheduling closing, sending documents to them to be signed so that when they see my name or they see things coming through, they know it's coming from me. And whenever I send docs to clients, I always write a little note, explain briefly what they're getting. And then I give them all the important dates. What else do I say in there? I ask them if they're attending closing. If so, what date and time. I think a lot of people are like, oh wait, do I have to be there? Do I not? Especially first-time home buyers. We do this every single day, right? So sometimes we have to take a step back and be like, these people don't know because they may have never bought in a house before.
I think that's one of the reasons why, I pride myself on the level of service I give to my clients. And that's why I use you, is because I think the level of detail that you give clients and saying, this is what's happening, these are all the dates, this is why these dates exist, and communicating with the lenders and the attorneys, and there's so many people. I think that's a level of service, that's an added level of service for the client that I think is well worth, hiring someone like you. I mean, I think that also you're great to work with and you're just really fun.
Thank you.
So that does help. That does help. Okay.
A good partnership though is very important. And I think that we need to look at it as a partnership, right? Like there's two lanes to the transaction. And you can stay in yours, I can stay in mine, and things flow seamlessly.
Yeah.
I do understand at first agents may be hesitant, like, I'm giving you a lot of control and
Yeah.
I'm giving you a lot of, it takes trust to take a step back and allow somebody to communicate with clients, make sure things are getting done. And I've recently realized what that feels like in hiring someone for my own business. And I'm giving her clients to work with. I'm giving her things to do in my business. And now I'm like, okay, this is what I'm asking the agents to do. So I can see the I can see the hesitant that they have. Hesitant, I don't think that's a word.
Oh, what's your favorite type of agent to work with? Like, what's a good personality fit for you? Of course, you work with everybody.
Yeah.
But
I do think that personality is huge. There are people that I talk to and I can instantly kind of know, like, we're either going to get along or we're not. I do think I have a strong personality. So I think it's down to just being able to form a relationship that you allow me to do my job. Like, you allow me to follow my task list, and trust that things are getting done. And I understand that comes with time.
Yeah.
That comes with building a relationship. I think someone who is extremely micromanaging me, like, are you going to do this? When is this getting done?
Yeah.
That's harder to work with. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone works differently. But someone who definitely allows me to do my job.
And to do it well.
Yeah.
Which you do every time. Every time.
I mean, we're all human. There are certain mistakes that will be made, but I've never had like anything major. No major mistakes, like no missed deadlines, no missed earnest money, like nothing that is like derailing the transaction. Knock on wood. But that's also why you have systems in place.
Yeah.
That's why I work so hard on the back end to make sure that everything is, I'm touching all of those different points. And also constantly evolving things, like every transaction's different. So today, actually, with one of our closings, the buyer, normally when the lender sends the CD, they, let them know, like, hey, wire the money here, blah, blah, blah. The buyer thought they could wire at closing. And so now in my head, I'm like, okay, how can I make sure that this doesn't happen again, right? So I'm going to revise some emails to make it clear of those steps.
I think, like, counterintuitively, everyone thinks, well, every house is different, every client is different, and that we have such flexibility. But I'm like, the thing that makes you successful in our industry is actually the systems.
Yeah,
like
100%.
it's a hard thing to say to people who are looking to get into the business, but you have to be regimented. You have to do the kind of the same thing, but always be changing and expanding it because every client is different and every house is different, that you have to have some kind of seamless operation that fits all of that.
Yeah.
And also our contracts change every 6 months, and the market changes every 6 months. So if you don't have a system, you don't have a process in this industry, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have anything. Yeah.
And to that point, every deal is slightly different, but when you look on a grand scale, there are things that you are doing every single time.
Yeah.
And so that's what my system is based off of, is those things that I do every single time. There might be like one-offs, right, where things happen like today. That has not happened to me before, but I can put something in place. When I send, for example, the Alta to be reviewed by the clients, I can make sure that they are aware, like, this needs to be wired, reach out to the lender or call the attorney at this phone number. Like, just little things like that can be implemented. But in a grand scheme, yes.
Systems
and
processes.
Yeah, and if my business coach listens to this, he's going to be so happy to hear me talking about that.
What's the name of your business coach?
David.
You're listening to this?
You have taught me well.
Yes. I've been admitting I need to get a business coach.
Yeah.
I'm at that point.
I'm
at that point now where I feel like, it's my 10th year into business, and thank you. And I'm growing and evolving, and also the market is changing, and I think what used to work doesn't really work now, and that's totally fine. I love a challenge. I love a process of evolution. So I think I'm ready for a coach.
I will
think I'm ready for a
say
coach.
it's been extremely helpful. So when I was looking, I mean, I feel like there's business coaches out there, like general business coaches, right? I kind of searched like, okay, wait, where do I want to be? And like who is there? And so he's a transaction coordinator. He has a business. So he's
So he
in that
knows.
space. So
Yeah.
he knows like that section because there's so many different parts to real estate.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's constantly evolving. So my business is not, agents are my clients, but my business is not geared towards searching out buyers and sellers, So that was important to me when I was looking for one, was finding someone in my space.
MySpace.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom. My top 8.
You would be in my top 8.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be such a fight with my friends.
You'd get
Oh
mad
my
at
God.
someone, and then you'd go home like, remove.
You're being removed tonight. Okay? And then
go
whatever
to
your
school the next
song
day.
was.
And your wallpaper.
Your wallpaper. We were coding.
Yeah.
Coding back then.
No wonder we're all so smart.
We're all so smart now.
Shout out to the
Shout out to
millennials.
millennials.
It was
Yeah.
a simpler time, though.
That was a simpler. I think that we should have stayed.
Correct.
As far as like social media, it should have ended at MySpace.
Yeah.
That should have been the end.
Yeah. I
Like-
would have loved that.
I just met a guy last night who said he hasn't been on social media in years. And so he's like, and I was like, what do you do?
Yeah.
He's like, garden, read. I was like,
Well, maybe
okay.
he's onto something.
Maybe he's onto something. I mean, we're all going to have to be growing our own vegetables soon because
Yeah.
the world is ending.
yes, it is ending.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
So-
for an alien to just come down and be like, you.
You.
Let's go.
Just you.
Yeah,
just the one.
Bring me
Yeah.
down like every so often
Yeah.
to get some food.
Yeah.
Maybe like say hi to
Yeah.
my friends.
But
But
just take me right
yeah.
back. Take me right
I can
back.
work from
Yeah.
anywhere. So.
You can work from. You do have flexibility.
I can work from
You're
space.
you're in a spaceship and you turn around. There's like 4 other real estate agents beside you. You're like, how?
How did you
get here? We don't have clients until 2, so just bring me back. Bring me back to Roswell. I got a client
Hilarious.
there later.
Yeah. No, so speaking of social media though, because I feel like that is huge, right? That's how we market and stuff. Everyone's always like, you need to get a TikTok. And I'm like, I go down
I
a rabbit hole
refuse.
on Instagram. I don't. Facebook, business pages, Instagram, I have a personal and a business. I'm like, I cannot do a TikTok.
I refuse.
Yeah.
I know everybody. It is the thing, and it still is the thing. And I'm sorry, this is the millennial speak again.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we refuse to get one more thing. I think we've seen so much like going back to the MySpace, to the Facebook, to the Instagram. I'm tired.
Me too.
And then Twitter, I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't.
I don't
can't
even go on there.
I don't
And
know.
then there's
That's
threads
toxic.
now.
Oh no.
I'm like, oh God, no.
I need less.
Yeah, me too. Remember when Facebook was solely for college students?
I remember.
And you would be like in high. I remember this boy I like loved. He was going to college and created a Facebook, and I couldn't because I was still in high
Forbidden
school.
love. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then they opened it up to everybody, and now it's its own thing. But
Now it's
I really like my Goodreads account.
What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's just like it's an app. It is social media, but for people who read books.
Okay.
So it's like they'll like be like, hey, I really liked the 50 Shades of Grey, and here's why. And like people will rank it and then talk about it.
So it's
Love
like
it.
a virtual book club almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But it's more like, yeah, it's like a book. You get to see other people's bookshelf, and then you get to see like what they rated it, and then you're like, oh, I like that person's thoughts on this book.
Do you
so
read
I bet.
a lot?
No.
I saw
With
you
the-
posted
with
the
the-
$1 Million Real
Yes.
Estate book. That's a
yeah,
great book.
it is a good book. All of Gary Keller's books.
Yeah.
I mean, I give my first time homebuyer book to all the people who go to my first time homebuyer class, and also shout out to the people because about once a month I do a first time homebuyer class. I
Go
think
to
I've
his
go to my class. It's really good. I have sold several houses
Really?
from people who never thought they could buy a house.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm just gonna go because you're my friend, and then lo and behold, they're like, this is way easier than I thought it was.
It is way
It is.
easier.
It is way easier.
Yeah,
and
and it's
also
more
if you
possible.
hire the right people,
Exactly.
that does help.
A team.
A team
you.
behind you,
Yeah.
that does help.
It does. It does.
So I've been waking up early now.
Oh, yes. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. club.
At 5 a.m. club, it has actually, I hate to say it because it is cliche and everyone talks about how it changes your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, kind of resistant to it. I'm like, I don't need my life to change, but it actually has.
Yeah.
It has my day less chaotic. And now I have time, so I'm like, am I a gardener now? Am I reading?
You're a handyman.
I'm a handyman.
What did you do to your bathroom?
I fixed my bathroom exhaust. It took me 7 hours to do
I'm so
it.
proud of you.
I was there with like metal shears and bolt cutters, and I had to like rip the whole thing out. It was it was crazy.
Well, I'm glad that you finished it successfully.
I almost quit 3 times. I did throw down my tools and say, I'm hiring someone. And then I was like, no, let me just give it one more Home Depot run.
I need that. Let me
I
go
need
pick that up.
And let me go. I need that. That was the tool I needed that I just threw down. Let me go pick that right back up. And then I did finish it. So tenacity.
Do you think you're going to do more projects, or you're going to hire someone?
I want to try. Like, I think like I do fantasize about the world of, and I do tell this to first time homebuyers. I'm like, if you've never done a renovation project, it takes you double the time you think it's going to take, and then double it again, and double the cost, and double it again.
Exactly.
It's going to take so much longer, and you won't know what you're doing, but there is a satisfaction.
Yeah.
When you're done with that project, when I flipped on that switch to that bathroom exhaust fan, I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I love that for you.
So
I'm a time over money person. I'll hire in a heartbeat.
I know. I really should.
Yeah.
But it not that I have any time at all, but there is something that makes you feel like, okay, if the world goes crazy, at least I know how to, I don't know, change my bathroom exhaust fan. I mean, you might need to know that.
You might.
Yeah. When the aliens come down and that's all they need.
Right. I know a guy.
I know that guy. Come beam him up. He knows what he's doing.
That's funny. But no, I do think, so I do wake up at 5 a.m. I work out. And then some days if I don't work out, I still wake up at 5, because 5 to like 7:30 is my time to just, I'll sit in bed with my computer and I'll do like admin stuff, or I'll just organize my inbox so that my day isn't so crazy. But something about just sitting there in the quiet before like everyone else has woken up, before everyone's emailing you back. I live by myself, so my house is always quiet. But
that's so nice. Yeah.
I don't see that changing anytime soon, but we never know. But yeah, that time is so valuable. And once you start doing it, I'm like, if I sleep until 8, I'm like, like I'm late.
That's the thing, is that like anxiety. I wake up before I started waking up early, and I used to wake up and I used to be like, I check my phone and then there's 37 people already needing my attention. Yep. There's all this. I feel I'm running for the rest of the day. I'm like, yes, I got to sleep in. And I do like, I mean, I am a night owl. So like I will stay up late. And then I guess that's, what do they call revenge procrastination or something like that, where you stay up late, and it's because you take the time back in your day that you feel like was taken from you. Not a good thing.
Yeah, no.
Not a good thing. Revenge is never good. It can't. Okay, it can't be. Okay, all right. It can't be. It can't be. We can work that.
I go to bed at like 8:30 because I wake up so early. Yes, there's a 70-year-old woman in this body.
But okay, so someone invites you out. You're going on a date.
No.
And they're like, hey.
I'm just kidding. My mom's gonna be like, that's why you're alone.
That's why you're single. Sorry.
It's really hard during the week for me.
How long have you been going to bed at 8:30? Like, is this?
I mean, I'm being a little dramatic, but like 9:30.
You're asleep by 10.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, sometimes during the week I will have to stay up, but because I wake up so early, by like 8, I'm like, I am ready for bed.
I'm ready for bed.
So yeah, dating during the week really does not happen for me.
You're like, we're gonna meet at 5.
Yep. So I can be home by 7.
Be home by 7.
I'll be out on the weekends, and I have this app called Balance, right? And it's like a bedtime meditation. By like 9:30, it's going off like time for bed.
Like it's time for bed.
And I'm like,
taking another Red Bull.
Espresso martini. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm so in a routine, and I feel like that's a blessing and a curse. I've
been wondering about discipline.
Yeah.
I know this sounds counterintuitive, but I was watching this video and she was talking about like the phrase as above so below, which really means that there's medicine in the poison. Okay. And follow me on this.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about discipline and freedom, like how, okay, we don't want to be disciplined all the time because we want to have this free life, but at the same time, I think discipline actually affords you freedom. So like there is medicine in the poison of it, meaning like if you dive into discipline a little bit more, you actually create more freedom in your life, more breath in your life.
Yeah.
And I've been diving into that and I'm like, oh shit, it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it
that
is
makes
true.
sense when you explain it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to that point, so that 5 to 7 or 8, whatever time that is that I sit there and get stuff done, it's because I'm like, well, I have things that I want to do today during work hours.
Work hours, yeah.
You know, so I am all over the place sometimes during the day. I always have my laptop in case people need things, but I do feel like if you have more structure, it does afford you more flexibility.
I'm learning that. That's a lesson, though.
Yeah.
That's a life lesson, though.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, though.
Thank you. I'll keep you posted about that.
Yeah.
Tell me what's next so you're waking up early, you're getting your stuff together. What is next for the Closings Pro? Like, where do you see it going? I mean, you've kind of blown up in the last two or 3 years.
Yeah. Well, it'll be almost 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. So it's like a year and a half. But yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Definitely feeling like the fruits of my labor of like going, I think FaceTime, like being in the offices, meeting the agents, going to events, all of the things that I like having panic attacks about last year. I'm like, okay, this is working and now it's not so scary. I did just get like a really good agent this week who's very busy.
Great.
Yeah, and she's building a team.
Love that.
Yeah. So I've been after her for a while. I even told her, I'm like, did you?
You're on the hunt.
Yeah.
On the hunt.
It's like 6 months that is like the sweet spot of like an agent signing on.
Yeah.
Of like me harassing them and them either just being like, okay, let's give it a shot, or she's so annoying.
It takes a moment for them to feel overwhelmed enough to be like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah.
And then they realize how much it is of a help, and they're like, I'm not going back.
Exactly. Yeah. So I actually met a girl last year. She was a TC on the other side of a transaction, and she would reach out periodically like, oh my God, I love your emails. I love your process. Like, how did you, like, where did this come from? Or did you make this? And so I was like, well, if you want to have lunch, like, let's sit down and just like chat. And so I called her the other day. Oh, when we were out to lunch, I texted her.
Oh yeah. The business coach would be proud.
Yes, he made me text her. So I talked to her yesterday, and we're having another meeting next week.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So she's great. She used to be a broker. She was an office manager. She has a couple agents that she TCs for too. So I would love to bring someone on. One that, you know, is passionate about what we do, cares about that client relationship. And no one's going to care about my business like I do. But
of course.
Someone who's close, right? And she fits all of that. And on top of that, she already has agents. So I would love to bring her on and just start kind of like offloading either newer agents that I get, not like newer to the business, but like newer in my business, and like the overflow of transactions.
So you're looking to grow.
Yes, I am. Not huge. I think this business is best as a boutique.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It is the client interaction, and you know they want to feel seen and
heard and available to them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, I want to keep that, but I would love maybe like 1 or 2 other TCs on board. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're going to meet again next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's just a lot of hats that I wear, right? And I also have tried to remember, like, you're not an employee. Like, your name is on the door. Like, you have to put your business owner hat on.
It is a different, and I struggle with that too. I mean, like as a business owner, you have to go about the world in a very different way when you own your own business.
Yeah.
And everything, it drives kind of people probably close to us kind of crazy because everything kind of has to be about the business almost all the time.
Yeah.
Which can
like
be
a baby.
It is a baby, and you kind of have to care for it, and then if you let it alone in a hot car,
It's not going to
it's not going to end well.
We're going
You
to be in
can't.
jail.
We're going to be in jail. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do think like like I constantly have to learn this about like I am the business owner hat. Then I have to take that off and kind of work with my clients.
Yeah.
And then I have to take that off, and then be home and do home things.
Yeah.
And then if you're working on investments, or you're doing other stuff. I mean, there's so many hats that we have to wear all the different times.
Yeah.
So that's why waking up at 5 a.m. helps.
It really does. It really does. I think you're gonna really love it, and it's gonna be
We're
hard
gonna
for you to
see.
go back
I think so.
and like not do that.
Yeah.
But then also your body is just gonna be like, I'm supposed to be up, and it's gonna wake you up. No
I would
matter
love
what.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not there
that
yet.
happens to me on like a Sunday, and I'm like, damn it.
I'm not there yet. I am. So like at the beginning of the year, I did cut out coffee. So I've moved from coffee to matcha, which is
Okay.
it's lesser caffeine. So I was drinking like a cold brew. Now I'm going down.
$17 matcha. Is that
My
you?
$17 matcha. So it's imagine this. This is a 16-ounce matcha with oat milk and lavender, and it was $12.93. It was absolutely crazy. It made
But it's so
no
good.
sense. It was delicious.
It's like your little treat.
Yeah. I mean, I think we deserve one good thing
Once a day.
or
5
twice
times a day.
or twice. Yeah. Depending.
We work hard.
We do. Yeah. And also I support the local economy.
Exactly.
So we're trying on that.
I love it.
What else?
But yeah, no, the hat thing is real, and I also think it's like a different level of stress almost that I feel.
Yeah.
Like knowing that unless I'm working or like lead generating,
Yes.
I'm not gonna get paid. Like there's nothing to just kind of like fall back on.
Do you feel like you have a sense of guilt?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, oh, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Guilt. Just
No, I feel guilt on like a Saturday, like if I'm just laying on my couch, because I'm like, there's things that I could be doing, and I'm like trying to get out of that.
Yeah.
But no, that guilt is real.
I don't know if there's I think about that all the time. Like, what is the remedy? And maybe there's not. Maybe this is like just a cultural thing. Like we live in a hustle world. This is America is like that, and definitely Atlanta's like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are a hustle till you make it culture here, and I think like if you put your foot off the gas for a second, it's like it's over.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Or well, you at least feel like
You feel like
over.
it's over. It's not really over. I mean, because you could just be gardening and reading books, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's just made up in our heads, but
I think it's just like a culture thing. And then also, of course, on Instagram, you see what everyone wants you to see, but it looks like everyone is killing it. And I'm sure most people are, right?
yeah.
But it's definitely like a false sense of success.
Yeah.
And like it's a false sense of like pressure that we feel to like keep up with everything
and
or
everyone.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in this business, like we're surrounded by salespeople who definitely want to put the best foot forward at all times, which is understandable, and you should. I mean, it's your business. Again, we're all wearing our business hats, so we're thinking, how can I put the best foot forward? But sometimes I just want to lay on the couch and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and not do anything and be off.
Yeah.
And not post about it and not talk about it.
Well, you did say this was like your year of no.
This is my year of no.
So
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I had a year of yes, and a year of yes is important.
Yeah.
Year of yes is important. You say yes to everything. You say yes to all opportunities, but then you learn that you should not take all opportunities.
Right.
The year of no is just as important.
Oh.
The year of no.
Oh,
Thank you. Yes and no. The year of no is just as important because I think you learn boundaries. You learn like what you have to focus on. Like I'm trying to get my business, to go from here to over here, and during a harder time, a harder market, and it requires you to say no to a lot more things in order to say yes to the right things. And I think that is a really hard lesson to learn, and I'm still struggling about what are the things that I want to say no to versus yes. And sometimes those are hard decisions.
They are hard decisions, but without doing that, you won't know. So I think that's important.
How do you think we're doing?
I think we're doing good.
Isn't this fun?
It is fun. I feel like we have a good flow.
We do have a good flow.
Okay, so wait. You already asked me about where I want to be. So let's talk about, we can pick back up, but let's talk about where you want your business to go.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we talked about where I want my business to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you've been in real estate 10 years.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? Because I feel like even with working with you these past couple of years, you've gone through a lot of changes.
Yeah. I mean, I have, in 10 years, I started as a part-time assistant to another real estate agent, worked to full-time assistant, got my license, worked in a big team, worked in new construction. So I've kind of been all around the world of real estate, which has been wonderful for me because I know a lot about systems and processes because of my time as an assistant. And then I know a lot about product and how to build houses through my time in new construction. So now I'm really just kind of building my own arm of business, really. So I really enjoy, I think, as probably people know, I love working with buyers. I love working with first-time buyers. I also really like working with sellers. That's kind of, I found that I love it more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
I love getting a house ready and painted and staged. As you probably know, I'm a little handier than people might expect. Handyman over here. Although I will not come to your house and change your exhaust fan. Not without a premium fee.
Heavy on the premium.
Heavy on the premium there. So I think I'm definitely learning how to love all aspects of it. But realistically, like, I love working with clients. I mean, my systems and processes are good, but that's also why I hire someone like you to come in and help, because I want to give that level of service to all of my clients. But at the same time, I like just being client facing. I like going to, to my clients' houses and looking around and saying, hey, this is what I think, and here's what I think your home value could be, and here's what we could do with this. And, taking out a first-time home buyer who is just so excited and wants to do a little renovation project and getting people in there and just seeing what the possibilities are. I mean, building my business, that's the fun part for me. And that's why I'm trying, my year of no is learning to let go of kind of the other stuff, hiring out people to help with marketing and hiring out people to help with some other stuff. So
Which I've
done.
Yeah. You have a VA now.
Yeah, virtual assistant. And, it's been wonderful.
They really are
wonderful.
The best.
Yeah. So
They're very on it.
They're very on it. He's great, and it's like, oh, this is like I wake up and it's done. Like, but also it goes back to, like, I'm not used to relinquishing control over my business. So it's been a lesson for sure.
I think, like, once you do relinquish that control and then you see things getting done while you are just
doing
out
other stuff
or doing other stuff. Like, I'm seeing the listings come through and Joe's handling all of that. And
I love that.
I think we got 6 listings like the past 2 days. And, like, there's just no way that I could have ever done that and contracts, right? So seeing all of that getting done and done well and, like, done to the standard that you want, I mean, now I'm like, what else can I pass along?
And what else? And then that says, like, what else can I pass along? I think the lesson is what do I say no to so I can say yes to something else?
Yep.
And I think that's because most people, we're not the type that's just going to sit and hang around and do nothing. So it's usually like, what else can I pass along so I can double down on this other thing?
Yeah.
And for me, I just really enjoy being client facing. So that's really what I'm trying to build and trying to help people. We're definitely moving more towards an educational focus on all fronts. I think this is a market that has been challenging for a lot of people, but there's a lot of opportunity still. So I think using our platform and using our resources to help educate people, because people don't know. And I'm finding a lot of our age, millennials and younger, being left out of the conversation, and they don't need to be. They think they are purposely being left out, but it's really because there's so much confusion around the language and what's happening in the market and all this kind of stuff. So breaking it down for people to understand, into, like, my friends who came to my first time homebuyer class to go, oh yeah, this is a lot easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Like that is the ideal, is for people to go, oh yeah, now I'm building equity. Now I've gotten into the game. Now in 10 years, I'm not going to regret waiting.
Totally.
So
I love that. I mean, I could talk real estate all day.
talk it.
And buying houses and having equity, like, because I have 2 houses and I have really good equity in both. And back, like, when I was purchasing them, like, it was the most terrifying thing. And now I'm like, I'm so glad I just did it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of, there's never going to be a right time.
And how long have you owned those?
I bought one in 2020 and then one in 2021. So.
And those both,
5 years.
they're rented.
One of them is rented. One's a Section 8 rental, and then I live in the other one.
And you live in the other one. Okay.
Yeah, I
Good for
actually
you.
made an offer on a house the other day.
You did? Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
I didn't get it, unfortunately, and I cried myself to sleep. But it was beautiful. Like, the backyard, I'll have to show you. The backyard was like in-ground pool, a slide, beautiful, like big yard. The house just felt very homey and like well taken care of. There was multiple offers, and it was only on the market for 2 days. So.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, the right house will happen.
I know. I'm like, okay, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
But I was able to. Well, I do need to sell the rental, but it was a higher priced house, and without that equity, that wouldn't even probably be an option for me, right? So I can take equity out of my rental, or I can sell it, and that's what I was going to use to purchase. But yeah, so having that equity is
I was having a conversation with a client of mine, and he was talking about how scary it was to buy. He's like, well, you're locked in for 30 years. I'm like, well, no matter where you go, you're going to be locked into a lease.
Right.
And then, but also, like, he's like, it's scary because I feel like I'm confined by this thing. And I'm like, well, you have to also think that this is giving you options now. You didn't have options before.
Right.
You were at the mercy of a landlord or whoever. And now you have an option. Now you have an option to sell and either make some money, or you can renovate your own house. You couldn't renovate that apartment, or you can take out equity in a few years when you have it and reinvest. Now you can sell your house in a couple of years and move to Bora Bora, for all I know. I mean, you have options that you never would have had before.
Correct.
So yes, it does feel like a big commitment that you're locking into something, but it actually is something that is a step towards freedom. Going back to the discipline is what actually gives you freedom.
Totally.
Conversation.
Yeah, and it's leverage. Like, I would be leveraging those to purchase something else, or leveraging, that equity to do something else. You can take that and renovate. So yeah, I mean, the discipline and the leverage.
Discipline and leverage.
That's the title.
The title of episode, Discipline and Leverage.
With Jesse and Brittany.
Well, is there any last words as we're wrapping up?
No, this was fun.
This was fun.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
We'll
I'm
have to
hope
do
we
this
have
again.
some gems from this.
Yeah, I think we will.